Holly and her boyfriend Zach join us now. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
You've been sterilised. You can now no longer have a child. Here's my thing. I've got 4 kids, right? Susanna's got 3. I find it a bit odd, if I'm honest with you, that there's a kind of celebrity element to all this. The blogging, the video. You look so happy and joyous. It's a bit of an odd subject to look at from the outside and think, why would a young woman be so ecstatic about sharing with the world the fact she doesn't want to have kids?
Well, I think a lot of people have assumed that I'm some kind of attention seeker, and that's why I've been talking about it publicly. Actually, it's taken 4 years to get to this point. For the first 3 years, I said nothing. And the only reason I spoke out at all is because it took so long and I got so patronised and spoken down to, and I realised that there must be a lot of other women going through the same thing. And there are, and I've heard from hundreds of them. And I keep hearing from people. Obviously, it's not been much fun for me talking about this publicly because I've had so much abuse, horrendous abuse. And,
right, but you've carried on blogging, video blogging.
Yes.
You're on this sofa now. You know, part of you obviously likes the profile, or you wouldn't be doing it.
I think it's very important that somebody speaks out for women who feel this way, and I think if it needs to be me, then I'm happy to do that. I have never done anything that I haven't been invited on, including this sofa.
Yeah, no, fair enough. That is fair enough. And you know, you're perfectly entitled to do whatever you want to do with your body. And I guess, you know, maybe Susanna can come in on this, but, you know, because I don't really think it's a man's place to tell you, frankly, whether you should have children or not.
It's not anyone's place.
Are you surprised not by the reaction from men, who might be sexist, misogynist pigs? Have you been taken aback by the reaction from other women who don't respect your right to do with what you want to do with your body?
The majority have been men that have said nasty things, that have criticised, and particularly the ones that have been very gendered in the way that they've talked about it and assumed that I'm having this operation because I want to go out and sleep with half of London, which is rubbish. The women that have got in touch and said nasty things, obviously it has been very disappointing, but at the same time, hundreds and hundreds of women have supported me as well, which means a lot to me. And it wasn't just people who have nothing to do with you who've spoken out. An NHS worker actually spoke to you in a way that you complained about. Well, it's probably not wise to go into that right now, but the operation itself was a little bit tricky in the sense that some of the staff members were quite clear that they didn't think I should be having it and wanted to change my mind at the last minute.
Do you think that a man who had been asking for a similar operation, a vasectomy, would have been treated in the same way?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, I've heard from so many men who've said, I went to my doctor and asked for a sterilisation when I was younger than you were. You know, I hadn't had any kids and basically no questions asked.
But for those who've not been following this story, and it's been fascinating to watch from afar, what has been the battle that you've fought for 4 years?
It's basically just been actually getting to have a conversation about it, because whenever you go into your GP and you say, I want to be sterilised, this is why, and you put your case forward and, you know, you've researched it and you thought about it, they kind of go, no, absolutely not. And it's not even a case of, OK, well, why do you want this? You know, here are some other options. It's just, no,
and are they legally allowed to do that?
I think it's their judgment. As far as I know, they're allowed to say yes or no to.
The boyfriend sitting alongside you, is this a decision that you had to make together, or is this something that you accept because the person you love has decided to do it?
Well, Holly's battle began before we were a couple and before we even knew each other. I've personally never wanted children either, and we were friends, very good friends, for years before we became a couple, so it wasn't as if this was a bombshell that was laying on me. There's something I was well aware of, something I was in complete agreement of. So it was something that never really was a problem, and it's something I've been very happy to support in whatever way I could.
See, it does seem odd, doesn't it, that it's such a firestorm when it's your life. You're perfectly entitled to not want to have children. I mean, it's not what I would choose to do, and I just hope you don't regret it, but I do feel, actually, that it's your life. I mean, why should anybody else poke their nose in?
I don't understand why people get so angry about it. I've never got angry with people who are having kids. It's not what I would choose for myself, as you said, but why would I be angry about that? It's just that, you know, people should be doing what's right for them. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, well, I know you only just recently, in the last couple of days, had the operation, so you must be feeling a little bit tender anyway.
Yeah, a little bit sore and bloated. I've got some lovely granny pants. Feeling dosed up on painkillers.
And you don't think you'll ever regret it?
Well, I wouldn't have done it if I did.
Thank you so much for joining us, Holly. Zach, thank you very much indeed.